So, what are some stocks that you guys can keep a watch on for this upcoming week? So, looking at finviz.com, right? So, you go to finviz.com, you go to where it says screener, and then go where it says market cap. Click on mega, and then click where it says performance. And click on here where it says perf YTD. Let's see if it shows up correct. Okay, cool. So here you can look at a bunch of stocks that are basically down that are down. So starting with Oracle, right? So let's look at Oracle. Let's see, Oracle. ORCL. Is it worth trading, or is it worth keeping an eye out for? Okay. So, just looking at Oracle on the daily chart, it is, below the 9-day moving average. It looks like it's having trouble. It had trouble breaking out the 9-day moving average here on the July 9th and July 10th. So far, it hasn't been able to break above the 9-day moving average. So, I would stay away from Oracle, once it, breaks above the 9-day moving average. Okay, cool, I'll get in, but me personally, I would stay away from Oracle for now. Looking at Palantir, let's look at Palantir next. Let's see. PLTR. Okay, Palantir, same thing. It's like it's doing a double bottom. There could be a possibility there could be a double bottom forming, I would say. So right here, this on the 14th, that's the first bottom, and then it kind of consolidated in this support area where the previous bottom happened. So maybe Palantir could be a good play to play call options. So I'll probably add that to the list of to trade using $1,000 trading, the $1,000 trading options challenge. So I'll add Palantir to the list. Tesla, let's look at Tesla. Tesla. Let's see. I'd stay away from Tesla. It is literally below all of the moving averages. There could be a possibility on the weekly chart, though, that maybe it could use the 180-day moving average and bounce off of it. But for me personally, I would stay away from Tesla. I'd move on to the next stock. IBM. Let's look at IBM. IBM. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to turn this thing on. Hold on. Okay, there we go. IBM. So let's see. Okay, so IBM, right? It is below the 9-day moving average, right? But it looks like on Friday it wanted to break above the 9-day moving average. Currently, it's at 214. The 9-day moving average reads on the daily chart 212. So basically, this could be a sign that IBM could do a reversal to the upside, but we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. On the weekly chart, we can see that it basically regained this support of 212. So there could be a possibility that this could be a double bottom pattern forming here. So we'll have to see what happens with IBM. I definitely would add IBM to the $1,000 options trading challenge. So I'm definitely adding IBM and Palantir. Let's see. Now looking at Netflix, can't really hate on Netflix as I'm in Netflix, but let's look at Netflix anyways. So Netflix. So Netflix, it is below the 9-day moving average, right? But on Friday, right? So basically, Netflix reached 70.68. That was the high it reached. And on the daily chart, the 9-day moving average reads 70.48. You know, if everything goes right with, Netflix, for this upcoming week, maybe Netflix could try to break above that 9-day moving average, and we could possibly see, Netflix start reversing to the upside. We'll have to see. On the weekly chart, though, it looks like it had trouble breaking out of the 200-day moving average. It got rejected somewhat, but it barely touched it because the 200-day moving average reads 70.98, and then the high that it reached was 70.68. So we'll have to see what happens with Netflix for tomorrow. So I would add Netflix personally to the watch list, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll skip Alibaba. SpaceX I'll skip. Microsoft is interesting. Let's look at Microsoft because I think they're reporting earnings tomorrow. So Microsoft, MSFT. Okay, Microsoft. So I like where Microsoft is on the chart. The reason I say that is because currently the 9-day moving average curled above the 20-day moving average. Usually that means it's a bullish sign for the stock. And so do I see possibly Microsoft reversing to the upside sooner or later? In my opinion, yes. And on the weekly charts, it's basically doing like a stair step in a way to the upside. So like this, how do people say it? This is a low, the high. I don't know how people say it, but basically it found its footing around this support level around 378, 377. So if we can try to maintain ourselves above that level and not break it, cool, we can see Microsoft start going up. And they're reporting earnings the 29th, so this will be interesting. So keep an eye out for Microsoft. And let's look at, let's see. I don't like American Express. Let's look at Meta. I think this will be the last stock they'll talk about. But let's see. Okay, Meta has gotten hit really hard this year. Right now it's finding its support at this support level, which is, sorry about that. It's finding its support around this level right here, 595. So if it can try to maintain itself with that support level of 595 and not break it, cool, that would be nice. We could see, Meta, start going to the upside. But they are reporting earnings. I think usually they do pretty good when they report. No, never mind. I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong, because look what happened on the 29th. Meta fell the next day after reporting earnings. So is this like a pattern? No, because look, on the 28th the 28th before reporting earnings, they jumped all the way to 10%. So that's pretty crazy. But then they had like a huge drop to the downside. So we'll have to see what happens with Meta. So and sign up with my Webull link located in the description below. Once you sign up with Webull and deposit $100 or more, you can get up to 10 fractional shares. Link will be in the description below. That is pretty much it. Peace.